some in Lawrence, as well as across and all the way up to New Jersey. I want to thank all of you, and for those that participated on last Friday, those that are entrepreneurs that have grown from the ministry and from the community work that Dr. S.O. Campbell had done and still doing through us who have grown and established our own. Thank every business owner, every person that donated, everyone that attended the inaugural Upstate Resource Center Scholarship Fund. That's just one division of it. I received a call on the way down the highway. There's more money coming in that we can help students get in school, stay in school, and finish school. So take it from me, we are greatly appreciated, and that your donations 100% will go toward the scholarship fund. Number two, we will have, I believe Christmas is on a Sunday, and Greenwood campus, we will have one service that will be at 8 a.m. in Greenville on Christmas Day. And then after that, that's about an hour service, and you are free to do whatever you want to do. And then I'm going to do the same thing on New Year's Day. I'm going to have one service, and that service will be in Greenville. So we're going to look and see what we can get as transportation for some who may need a little assistance to be in that service. So that is the housekeeping that I have. I want to share with you, we had a brief discussion of so goes the mind, so goes the money. And people would ask, well, why are we talking about, people don't understand money in church and money. Nothing exists. Now, there are some organizations that own buildings and they start up churches and da-da-da-da. But the average church or the ministries that I've been fortunate to lead are independent. But I've always said this, whether organization or whether independent, is the simple fact, if the people have nothing, the ministry can't have nothing. You don't have anything or should have anything to brag and to boast. It should be a compliment, and it should be a reflection of the God you serve and the lifestyle that your skill set can afford you. We shouldn't be doing things in the point of braggadocious or trying to show up someone. So if you're blessed, I'm going to show you in the Bible how that is a staple mate. That is a standard of God. So when I say so goes the mind, so goes the money, right now, as we get ready to close out 2022, the spiritual numerical number of 23 means death. And you can interpret multiple ways, but the reality is something has to die in order for something to live. Well, leaves have to shed off for a tree in order for a tree to continue to grow and produce new leaves. And so right now, from the job market and from the economy standpoint, they are predicting that 2023 will be a recession year. It will be a point where right now, if you read the tea leaves, there are multiple companies that are billion-dollar companies that are trying to get past December the 31st for two reasons. One, to finish the fourth quarter strong. Two, to continue to make their investors feel comfortable. But three, in first quarter and second quarter, there will be massive layoffs. That's not prophecy. That's the tea leaves that are written. Because companies right now, we had talked about pensions and how that they are shrinking pensions. And so people are like, well, I got a retirement with my company. A pension, a 401k, technically is dead money on the books to a corporation. It's a liability. It's not an asset. And so when people starting to retire, there's one that's up in the state of Michigan that they had people to walk out because come December the 1st, they would have lost 25 to 35% of their pension. And there was a time that $500,000 was a lot of money. But by the time they take $125,000 to $135,000 out of your pension, because if you didn't retire before December the 1st, that's what you lost. So then that cuts it down to maybe $375, but then you got to pay taxes and all that other stuff. So you work 30 years plus of your life to get about $220,000 that you're going to be taxed on the front and the back. And you know you're going to show out with a little bit of it. Come on. And so when you hear from people who are economists and work for economists and they're sharing this information, then you should come back to the people of God and say, listen, this ain't something new. This is a time to get equipped for the famine. There are articles that corporations have written and said, we're not going to make a move until after the 31st because everybody wants you to spend your money now. And come January the 1st, hard times are going to be. And it's not because of whoever is the governor, government, and all of this. This is the way it is. This is reality. I know there are people lining up right now, getting ready to spit and pop and jump and shout and talk about how great Jesus is. I'm trying to help you understand when I read to you this in the Bible where God wants his people to be, because he never would have given a blueprint, and he gave it in the Bible with Joseph. Before you can have a famine, you have to have prosperity. Nothing from nothing, the great Reverend Ike, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You can't lose what you ain't never had. So when you have something and you don't do what you should do with it, now when the famine comes, you're going to struggle. I had a young man to walk up to me from the Greenville campus, and he said, and I didn't know I was his pastor, he said, Pastor, you're right. I said, what do you mean? He said, I got laid off Friday. And he worked for a prominent company. A prominent company that you wouldn't think was shut down. But because of the numbers that they're trying to meet, it's not that it's not work to be done. It's like the gas. They want to go up on gas because they don't care about you struggling. You got to find a way. You make a choice, biscuit or gas. Biggie size it or gas. I mean, that's what they said. And so what it is what I want to at least do my part is to get us out of this fake reality like, well, God's just going to fix any problem that I have. Oh, I'm saved. The saints don't struggle. The devil is a lie. So Joseph told, and in somewhere in 2023, I'm going to teach the principles of Joseph. Joseph told them that while you are prospering, the word that many church people and people hate is save. And from the CPAs and from the financial advisors, they say you should save 3 to 6 months worth of all of your salary and all of your bills. That way, if it takes you, now you can go get an $8, $10 an hour job. You can get those all day. But to get something that's going to have benefits right now, it's taking anywhere from 60 to 120 days, which is 4 months. Am I right? Right. So if you're used to making above, $20,000 and you're at 30, 40, 50, or 60, that job is just not coming tomorrow. And if you're making over 100,000, you're waiting about 6 months to 8 months because nobody wants to put that salary on their books. You can pray all day. You don't have to pray to go get an $8, $10 an hour job. And that's below the poverty line. The poverty line, they say now start at $19. And some said it's really at $21. And they said if you're not making $21 an hour, you're living below the poverty line. And minimum wage is still what? 7 something? $7.25? And people that are working as waiters and waitresses, they get paid $2.35 an hour. I'm going to serve you 15 glasses of tea, and you're going to give me a 50-cent tip. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. So you done worked your feet all day, and somebody going to give you. No, you got to do something different. So am I making sense? So goes the mind. So goes the money. Mastering you will make you money. So now, in Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter and the 12th verse, it says, now this is to the people of God. But what does it say? For wisdom is a what? Now, I'm going to have to pause and put me back up because I had to say this in Greenville. You can't survive and continue to let people poison you. Let's have a conversation because I want to be done in 15 minutes. Well, what am I saying? You got to be careful who you let talk to you. People will come and talk you right out of the right place to be, right in line with God, right where you're supposed to be, because they're on the side of the road. And if it didn't have any value, why would they be talking about it? See, the people of God and people in life, we got to get away from he said, she said, mess, and this, that, and the other, and I think this, and I don't like this, and I heard this. Listen, if you can't tell me the name of the person, you can't tell me when they said it, and you won't stand there and tell them in their face what they said, then please stay the heck out my face. Don't bring me that garbage. I've just got articles in the back where my book now is making traction in New York and selling in Australia and New Zealand, and you think I got time to worry about what somebody say about me? Those people they want the information. See, church people, because they don't have a life, they get in these people business. They messy. If you get out of people mess, you can straighten out your life. And you let somebody come along and poison you because of their opinion and what they think. What does their business have to do with your business? And see, you can't straighten out your business because you're too busy and they mess. Listen to what it said, wisdom. See, you got to be smart enough to know what to listen to if it doesn't advance you and make you money while you're listening. Well, I think so-and-so, I think they could have won again. Some of y'all talk more about football and don't know nothing about scriptures. That's my team. Can't even buy a ticket to the game. And if somebody gave you tickets, you couldn't buy transportation to get to the game. Because you worried about being on a 4-lane highway. How would you like to be on an 8-lane highway or a 12-lane highway? Nerves can't handle it. Gonna need a cigarette on that one, ain't you? Cigarette, a friend of mine put a picture out there talking about the best Christmas tree was a Jack Daniels whiskey Christmas tree. I said, this is a Sunday. Why'd you put that up on a Sunday? It says, for wisdom is a defense. See, you got to be smart enough to know that everything that is said has not been validated, and you need to make sure you only deal with validated information. That's called wisdom. Quit letting people tell you anything.
Amen. Amen.
Because I thought I owed somebody some money. They're like, oh, no, I keep up with money, Pastor. I'm like, that's the most they done talked to me all year because I thought I owed them some money. They're like, oh, no, you gave me my money. I said, I was going to pay them again. But I said to myself, I better write it down because next week may need some money. Be like, you didn't pay me. And I'll be like, oh, okay, let me pay you. For wisdom is what? The reason most people are struggling, they don't have a wisdom barrier. They just, whatever they see, whatever somebody say, whatever's on TV, they believe. Yes. It says wisdom is a what? So now here's what I said in Greenville, a defense. You must understand you have something of value to protect. Yeah. You have two things before you ever make money. You should have an innate inheritance. In fact, he just told me that they're coming down, your nephew. And he's the one that did the murals in the back. But this is the same kid who painted his grandfather eating a bowl of cereal. And somebody paid him for a painting over $600-700. Am I right? Because it reminded them of the times they spent with their father or grandfather. You have not taken the time to find your gift. And you can't find your gift following people who were ungifted. and being messy in mess that won't make any. And I know some of y'all love gossip, but the church folk wouldn't gossip, would they? Saved people don't talk about people, do they? I'm talking to holiness people now. Hey, they don't gossip. And, I heard that Johnny was drunk last week. That's what I heard. Now, I don't know. But, so, listen, I got something for you. For wisdom is a what? You have to defend your space in your head. Ask me why. That's where God's going to plant the seeds in you. And if you're full of garbage, you can't hear. And what does it say? Now here's what some people didn't get. Brother, this is in the Bible. You feeling all right today? You worked real good yesterday. I wanted to see how y'all were doing. Y'all doing good today? Okay. I smell some liniment in the room. What is next? And what? Now hold on. Is this in the Bible? I want somebody to get up and read this in the Bible because I'm finna piss some people off. Get up and read it in the Bible. Tell me what it says. Come on, take your mask off. And I want you to read it. You don't need a mic. Just read it for me.
For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense.
So why the church folk broke? Money will defend your space. Have y'all ever seen that in the Bible before? I just wrote it this morning. I put that in the Bible. I did my magic and put it in the Bible. This has been in the Bible for decades. So this praying to God for begging and help me. I put out a post last week that says you don't have to try to convince God after you prayed. You just got to believe God. It says for wisdom is what? If you didn't have something of value, people wouldn't be trying to sell you something and put garbage in your mind all the time. Tell them you already got your own garbage can because your own negativity will work against you. You ever thought to do something and say, man, you don't want to do that. Man, you don't need to go over there. Man, they crazy. You don't need to do that. You got to fight yourself. Now I got to fight the trash you bring me to. And never have you ever realized money is the defense. So I want you to say, I got to get some money. And money will defend me. Wisdom and money is a defense, but the excellence of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. See, when you get wisdom, see, this is the difference between people who have less, people who have a little bit, people who have some, and people who have more. The ones that have more knowledge. And the ones that don't have any knowledge, always trying to buy something. See, instead of buying something, why don't you build something? So here's what it says. But the excellence, so remember this word that I shared with you, 2 words that we have to grow into in 2023. Sustainable excellence. Sustainable excellence. Because here's the thing I keep saying to young entrepreneurs. Everybody that look like you is not your customer. And so you quit your business. You quit building your business because the 5 people you went to didn't want what you had. You need to go to people who don't look like you. One of the biggest things, because I looked at my first report from my book, I was like, man. But then when I got the thing, I was like, okay. And then when I saw where the book was selling at, I said, I need to realize those people need the vision and the word that God gave me on finances. These people over here, they want to just keep in and stay in trash. As old folk used to say, who slapped Esther and who shot John? Y'all ever heard that? The old folk used to say, who slapped Esther and who shot? You know, am I right, mother? Because they be like, well, who slapped Esther? Who slapped Esther? Who shot John? Because it's just mess. And people make money out of confusion. You want to establish sustainable excellence in your life moving forward. And it doesn't start January the 1st. It starts now. And here's what it says. Here's what it says in lay terms. Why drain your brain on someone who never plans to use theirs? Why drain yourself on someone else's recklessness and foolishness? Why drain yourself on someone else's opinion of you? Why drain yourself because, well, I don't want to lose my job? Listen, you're not going to lose it. They're going to lay you off. So the young man, I told him, I said, I thank you. He said, but because I listened, Pastor. I said, whoop, I didn't know I was your pastor. I thought you were just here. He said, I started saving money months ago. So now I got a little bit that I'm going to try to establish myself and then find a job to complement what I'm trying to build. And I said, well, man, you one of the rare ones, because most people just sit in my class and just like, when they going to start shouting? I want to hear somebody say hallelujah. I want to hear somebody say glory. I want to hear the preacher shake the mic. I want to feel good. You want to feel good and still be stupid? I want to be good and live great. Because I want to take the word of God as it seeds and watch it grow in my life. And when God plants a seed in you, in your innate inheritance, and you combine it with your spiritual birthright, the opinions of other people matter very little to you. Because when you get a confirmation from God, and that's what I think some people don't understand, God has confirmed your gift. Your gift for what you do, and when you were standing up there looking like Shea Grady yesterday talking on the phone with his hand on his hip, that's your calling. Make it work for you, and as you get a little older, get some people and understand you're going to have to go through 25 before you get one that's going to be halfway decent. But you can still own the company, and they can work the company, and you still make money. You got to own your gift. Your gift is not like anybody else's gift. Your gift could be washing cars. And because of how you wash cars, people keep wanting to come to you. Your gift could be lawn care. How you handle that lawnmower, how you cut that grass. 20 people could have cut grass, but everybody, man, I like your grass. That's your gift. But you want somebody to validate you when God's saying defend what you got. It says wisdom is a defense. So that means my cognitive, intellect, and intelligence, my articulation is protected by the word of God and the spirit of God. And now I need to have some money. If God don't have a problem with you having money, and money is a defense for the believing God, then why in the world are you so scared to have it? I don't want nobody to think, think I'm bragging and, think I'm like I got something. I don't want nobody ask me for that. Man, you can ask me all day. Okay, because I'm going to tell y'all a quick story about a Hasty friend. Am I making sense? Why drain your brain? Why give your mind? I'm going to mess with you a little bit because you wore your team colors today. And then y'all about to get to the playoffs. For 25 years. I pray to God that y'all don't get disappointed again. Okay? Because I think y'all need to go back to the coach that left. If y'all would have had him, I think if y'all go get him now, y'all still can win. You know who I'm talking about. You're Pittsburgh faithful. I heard your team. I heard your coach. Because, I know how y'all, I don't know if you're going to have, listen, Linda. He has never had a losing season. And one losing season. But see, that's how some of y'all feel about yourself. If you ain't a 100 and everybody else 45 and you mess up, they're going to get rid of you. Listen, if God put me here, you can't get rid of me. I will be here when I bury you. Oh, didn't I tell y'all that in this church? Some of the people that were hating on me, didn't I tell you I will preach their funeral? Y'all need to go back and look at Bishop Jakes. He said, I will step over your dead body and keep right on going. Some people can hate you so bad they can't ever get it right. Well, I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going. Who you think you stopping, Cletus? Big Lip Billy? Who you think you stopping? Because you mad and you left? Well, I ain't paying my tithe. Well, I wasn't getting them anyway. That's how we keep life. Well, I heard somebody told me. Man, listen, I said this, and I give Bishop Jeff Akers credit. I didn't even know I said it. We were at the school in Greenville, and I said, you can't believe everything your mind tell you. That's one of the most powerful things I've ever said. You can't believe everything that come to your mind. Your mind will lie to you. So now let's talk about the Hasty Friends so we can get on and y'all can go watch your game. What time y'all play today? 1 o'clock? You play at 1 o'clock. Okay. Tell me what Genesis 1:1 say. That's it. That's all you know. Okay. But you know what time this team played today? I ain't mad at you. All right, can I tell y'all a quick story about the Hasty Friend? You have two things that are mandated from God that you need to take. It's to gather wisdom and let the Spirit of God defend that wisdom. The other thing we need to learn is to understand God wants you to have money. But money without wisdom is a fool with no brakes. All right? Now, I'm going to give you a story. A friend of mine came. There was actually about 3 or 4 people, and so I kind of gathered this story. And it's called The Story of the Hasty Friend. Mad about others planting seed when you planted no seeds. Then you talk with them, and you get mad at them. See, when you see the value of what God has given you, and you start working on you, you're going to upset some people. So here's the story of the hasty friend, because in Proverbs 21:5, the latter clause of that says, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. And so I was talking with a friend, and these 2 gentlemen were retired. And one of the gentlemen, I don't know how he retired, but anyway, he had developed multiple streams of income. And so the other person has a sometime car. You know what a sometime car is? Sometime it crank, and sometime it won't. You got a slow leak in your tire. Sometime it's up, and it's always down when you really need it to be up, you know. And so he had a sometime car because other people take the car. So today you can't drive the car, and so you have to be taken to work and picked up. And so one of the people you admire in your community has a nice truck. They just put a real nice bed on the back of their truck. And so the gentleman said, he said, well, man, I like your truck. He said, thank you. He said, but I really like your cover on the back of your truck. He said, oh, yeah. He said, I bought that to keep my tools. Now, mind you, the hasty friend had talked to me, and I had been trying to get the hasty friend to buy a truck for 12 years. Just a little old work truck, very excellent handyman. I said, man, you can make $75, $100 a pop. I said, you see this man fixing my mailbox? Look at his truck. He's got a truck. He came out here. He charged me for 15 minutes worth of work, $150. What if he does that 4 times a day? He said, oh, yeah. So he saw one of his friends who come up now. Nice truck, bed, and what upset him when he said tools to cover up, he said, I don't want them to rust it. Now, in his sometimey car, he got a bunch of rusty stuff. All his tools just throwed all in the trunk, you know, and all of this stuff. So he says to the guy says, oh, yeah. He said, what are you getting ready to do? Oh, well, I'm waiting on the ride to go to work. He said, oh, man, I'm glad I don't have to do that no more. He said, you don't work? He said, nah, man, I'm retired. I got multiple streams of income, and so I just bought me this little truck, paid cash for it, and put a cover on it, and I do a little stuff every now and then to stay active. Guess what happened? He got mad. See, when you're getting blessed, somebody's going to get upset. And God is offended when you hold your head down. Yeah, I might say that again. God is offended. He gave you that. Can I make it plain? If you look at Luke 19 around verse 13, it talks about, there was a parable about when the Lord or the owner gave out talents. He gave 1 5, 1 3, and 1 1. And the one that had 1 took his talent and hid it in the ground. And when the master came back, he took that talent and he gave it to the one that has 5. God has a problem when you don't use your gift. God has a problem when your gift doesn't profit you. And let me show you what people will tell you. They act like you ain't supposed to have them. The Bible says, I wish that you would be in good health as well as your soul prospers. So why are you afraid of having money? And why are you upset to let people know that God has blessed me? Why would God continue to bless you and you continue to deny that God has blessed you? So the friend of mine said, well, he got mad because he felt the guy was bragging. Why would I be mad at you and you're talking to a potential client or somebody you know to do some business and make you some extra money, even though you got a job? That goes back to the theory, people who have nothing don't want you to have nothing. And then the worst part of the equation is you don't think you should have nothing. And so we've been trained in church to go beg God for stuff when he's already told you wisdom is money is your defense. So then the friend told me, I said, so why did you get mad? Man, I thought he was bragging, trying to do. I said, you're the one that's, working for the wage that you're working. That was your choice. He chose to do something else. He saw the opportunity to build something else. And now he's reaping the reward. And because you are here on a skateboard, you're upset with him. Because when you have had money, and stop telling lies, people, you have had money. You've gotten tax returns. You've gotten bonuses. Some people have gotten money for accidents. Hello? Some people have died and left you money. Hello? Yes. 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 You have, look, listen, before there can be a famine, there has to be prosperity. And so what he said, I got mad because I thought he was bragging. I said, he's telling you. And I had to learn this lesson when I had one of my friends who had 4 King Air airplanes. I didn't know what a King Air was. I had to go look it up. He's got 4. And when he sold them, before he had 1 and he sold that 1, and it was around Christmas time, and his children were small, he said, I started to put on social media that my children don't have an airplane for the holidays. I didn't even know what a King Air was, so I had to go look it up. See, here's the failure of most people. You don't have an expectation in your life, because you're too busy trying to impress other people when you need to have an expectation of the gift that God has given you. You shouldn't be ashamed of your gift. And people who don't agree with your gift, they don't deserve your gift. And he said, and he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth. See, if you work the earth is commanded by God to give back to you. The problem is the church has told everybody heaven's going to send you a blessing when all the blessings are in the earth. Everything that you have on right now came from the earth. The wireless microphone is a frequency from the earth. Everything you have on, glasses, plastic, shoes, socks, your watches, everything that you have on came from the earth. Why in the world are you still looking at the sky? Heaven belongs to me. Oh, heaven belongs to me. I'm looking up to heaven, gonna drop down and bless me. Oh, heaven belongs. You. If we put you up there, you choke on the air. You couldn't breathe. Everything you need is in the earth. Medication to heal your body is in the earth. And so people have tricked the church folks to look in the air, and they digging in the earth. So I said to him, why were you upset? He said, because I thought he was bragging. I said, why did you feel like he was bragging? Because he had something. I said, why do you tell him your story that you don't have nothing? You got a sometime car. See, when you're not at your best, you feel some kind of way. And you get offended when somebody is a third of where you are. So I'm telling you, you need to invest in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, you're not going to get paid today, but money cometh. You don't start up a business and start making money because you don't have enough money to make the business run. You got to understand process is part of the equation. That's why the Bible calls it wisdom. You said it right. It takes time. The question is, will you be patient? Because I go back up to this as I close. So goes the mind, so goes the money. Mastering you will make you money. Please, people of God, and potential people of God, and just if you're just watching and accidentally today thought this was Christmas Sunday, I don't know what I'm going to wear on Christmas because I done wore my little red sweater already. I can wear it again. Do I have to wash it? Because if I wash it, it might draw up. I don't want it to draw up and then it'll be tight. So wash it in cold water, okay? So, but I'm just saying, this is the time for you to get before God and quit trying to talk and tell on everybody else and say, God, where should I be in 2023? Because jobs are going to fold. Not all of them, but everybody's going to feel it. And so if you spend your money because it's Christmas, I promise you, your lips gonna be ashy come February. That ain't me. That ain't prophecy. That's what's out there. And when I went and did a little bit of research, I said, well, why are companies not? So I called the guys that are financial advisors. I called like 7 institutions, and I talked to like 4 CPAs, and they said because they care more about their investors than they do their employees. So they want their investors to have a great, strong fourth quarter. So they'll continue to invest, and then they're going to go lay off the people. Because the first 2 quarters of the year are always the tightest quarters. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to hurt. Prayer will not keep you where you don't belong. Prayer will not keep you where you don't belong. You have to now start seeking God. Lord, help me line up with your will. Help me gain some wisdom. Sit down and talk to somebody and what the guy should have done, the hasty friend, will say to the guy, dude, how did you do this? How did you get there? And then come back and modify your ways. Does that make sense? Just don't sit out there mad. Don't be jealous of nobody. Learn. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, wisdom. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thou gettings, get understanding. It won't happen without a process. It won't happen without patience. And it won't happen without confidence and faith. You got to believe when nobody else believes. You got to believe. Yes. And ask God to give you wisdom. And he says, in wisdom comes knowledge, and money is a defense. You gonna need money to handle your earthly needs. Because let me give you this. I'm glad you said that. Let me give you this. This is what most of us know. Queen Latifah, right? You know, there's some people out here. They still think well, I'm not gonna say they think they say they're queens and stuff. Here's what Queen Latifah said. Her mother taught her: earn more than you will ever spend to ensure wealth. God bless you. Earn more than you will ever spend